Welcome to AWID. AWID is a global feminist membership and movement support organization. My name is Hakima Abbas. I'm the co-executive director of AWID. As an AWID member, you're joining a constellation of women's rights and feminist organizations, communities, networks, and activists who dedicate themselves to building a better world. At AWID, we believe in the power of feminist movements to take action, transform lives, and create just societies.
Women of all ages, occupations, and economic standing vowing to fight gender inequality, stereotypes, and much more.
We're delighted to have you join us and thousands of other feminists from around the world to build our collective power by sharing, learning, and taking action together. We invite you to fight back against fascisms, fundamentalisms, and authoritarianism, and to demand just economies. As an AWID member, you have the power to connect with feminists all around the world. You'll have access to rich resources, publications, and opportunities to learn and share. Welcome to AWID.
And welcome to today's live conversation. My name is Nana Darkoa Sekyiamah. I'm Director of Communications and Tactics at AWID, a global feminist membership-based organization. And today I'm going to be in conversation with two of my very dear colleagues. I'll introduce them more fully in a little bit. We're going to be talking about our upcoming festival, Queer, Resiste, Transform, a festival for feminist movements. But trust me, even before you've heard about this festival, you're going to want to make sure you register. The registration details are now coming up on your screen and also will be in the comments box. So click on the link and register because it's going to be an incredible festival and we're going to tell you a whole lot more about it. Also, just to say, whether you're watching this conversation live or later on watching a recording, if you have a question, if you have a comment, please post your question, post your comment, and we will endeavor to get back to you. So let me introduce my guests for today. Super excited to be in conversation with Hakima Abbas, who is co-executive director of AWID. She is also one of the founders of an initiative that I am super excited about, the Black Feminist Fund. She is also co-editor of Queer African Reader, an incredible resource for anyone who, like me, is interested in learning more around African sexualities. And I will also have here to chat with Inna Michaeli, who is Director of Programs at AWID. She's a sociologist by training, an activist who has been, super active in the struggles for the liberation of Palestine, as well as in LGBTQI struggles. So, Hakima, Inna, welcome to today's conversation.
Thank you.
Hello.
Really glad to have you both here. And we're just going to get straight into the conversation. And I'm going to start with you, Inna. So, can you tell us a little bit about the theme of the festival and why, why AWID decided to go for this theme?
So, Crear, Resiste, Transform. It's create, resist and transform in Spanish, French, and English. And there's something in this multilingual title that really captures the kind of connections we are hoping to create with this festival across languages, across regions, across movements. And so these are the 3 working languages of AWID, but of course we're hoping also for more conversations in Arabic and Russian and so on. And a little bit about each of those words in the theme, right? So when I think about create, I think about really from the beginning of the pandemic about all the networks of support that families have been creating, about the different community and solidarity funds, also by movements and communities and groups excluded from different forms of state support and so on. So a lot of autonomous organizing and creation by queer and trans groups, by sex workers' rights groups. So I think there's a lot of creation that is always happening, and also, of course, artistic creation. So there's going to be quite a bit of arts and culture and music, because that's also ways by which we are changing our world and realities, right? When I think about resistance, I'm thinking how the world hasn't been doing home office, and like all the things that have been happening during the pandemic, with economic or political forms of repression that have been happening, and we have seen right-wing governments and also sort of the profiteering from the pandemic, along with the global health crisis and economic crisis, and so seeing feminist resistance to that, also feminist resistance to the backlash on reproductive rights, trying to use COVID in order to roll back on healthcare and reproductive health services. So thinking about women's organizing and feminist resistance and queer resistance in Poland, the really powerful role in mobilizing and being really on the front lines of the revolution in Belarus. This year in AWID, we hosted live conversations with feminists from Palestine and from Myanmar for feminist analysis of what is happening in different parts of the world. So we are really looking forward to bringing those connections and conversations together. And finally, transform. I think we can connect it from so many different levels, right? Like there is the transformation that we are creating, the transformation in our movements as well, of trying, to counter oppression and stigmas and exclusion within our own movements, of also transforming our societies. I'm thinking about all the amazing work feminists have been doing throughout the time of the pandemic, also working to transform economic policies and health policies so that they work better for the people, because we have also seen a glimpse of what is possible, right? So that's some of the associations for the team, but really the creations, the resistance, and the transformation are perhaps, just 3 pillars to capture the diversity and the richness and the power of the different formats in which feminists are changing the world.
Thank you so much. It feels to me like creation, resistance, and transformation. It's like the perfect, it's like a triangle. And I feel like you need all of that. So thanks for explaining that. And Hakima, can you tell us a little bit about who this festival is for? Who do you want to participate? Who do you most want to see there?
I'm glad you asked me that question, Nana, because I feel like I can answer in one sentence. All feminists should come. I think whether even if you're a questioning feminist, if you're very new to feminism and you're not sure about what it fully means, but you want to engage, you think something's wrong with the world and you want to be part of making a positive change, then you should come. If you've been working as a feminist or been, if you believe, had a lifetime of work in feminism, then you should come. We're intentionally creating the program and methodologies so that the festival is safe and welcoming and accessible to feminists in different time zones, with different access needs, and feminists who speak different languages, as Inna spoke about. And at once, I think the festival is going to be serious and reflective place to take stock collectively of the last few years, because of course we haven't just been facing a pandemic of COVID-19, but also the viruses of heteropatriarchy, of white supremacy, of ableism and capitalism and fascisms. But it will also be a celebration of where we've been able to hold the line, of where we've been able to fight back and build beautiful things. So I really think this is for everyone who wants to smash the patriarchy and the borders, the binaries and the prisons, everyone who wants to heal the earth and build solidarity and dance. There's a little something for everyone. And if you want to hear amazing activists or attend workshops or join live conversations, be part of Twitter chats, dance parties, there will be something for you. So we really encourage everyone to join us and to do that. If you can, with households or whatever is safe. We know that it's been a difficult period, and it continues to be a really difficult period with all of the physical isolation that's been necessary to keep us safe. But this is hopefully a moment that we can connect globally despite the distance.
So for everybody who is watching, please register to secure your participation at this incredible festival. It's going to be a month-long festival. It starts on the 1st of September, ends on the 30th of September. It'll be happening across different time zones so that no matter where you are around the world, you know, there'll be definitely a session at a time that you can attend. And it will be happening across all our social media platforms. A number of activities will be, you know, limited to a certain number of people. So this is why it's really important for you to register so that you get to know really early on about the activities, and then you can sign up and secure your place at the particular sessions that you want to participate in. So registration details are on the screen now and will be on the chat. And you can also visit our website, www.awid, that's AWID.org for more details. So Hakima, Inna, I have to confess, like as somebody who's a team member at AWID, I am a little bit biased. I have like a couple of activities that I am most excited about, but I don't want to show my bias first. I want to ask you both, and I know it's really hard. You know, what are your top 3 activities that you're most like looking forward to? And I'll start with you, Inna. Tell me the top 3 activities that you feel like everybody needs to like participate in this session.
It's really hard to choose, but let me try. I can totally imagine myself coming up also with a totally different set of free activities if you ask me in 5 minutes. But I think one discussion I'm really looking forward to is about resistance and revolution. And that revolution will not be a revolution unless it's feminist. Because we see that revolutions aren't easy, right? And so a revolution that is feminist is even more of a challenge. And it's something that's happening in the moment, but also I think as we see in many parts of the world are also ongoing processes we're grappling with for years. And I'm just really looking forward to learning from feminists on the front lines of different types of resistance, different types of revolutions, and what we can learn from that, right? From Belarus to Palestine to Sudan to different parts of the world and different uprisings. I'm also really looking forward to a session with videos and discussion with young feminists building radical climate futures, because honestly, climate justice is an area where I have a lot to learn. So I'm really looking forward to learning from young feminists in different parts. And am especially excited with the idea of radical climate futures, because everything we hear about climate future is absolutely terrifying and depressing. And I feel we really need those visions that can, I think, give us some solid pathways that we should probably all get on board with before it's too late. I know it's too late in some ways, but you know, I love the hope and I want to be there for it. And I'm also, the third one I would say is a session about ending the incarceration of women worldwide, because feminist approach to prison abolition and the prison industrial complex, and some of the ways in which incarceration is used as a weapon, as a racist, sexist weapon, has been, I mean, also part of our work in recent times. So really looking forward to some of those conversations coming up, because I know that it's also not an easy conversation, that it's a complex issue, right? Like, what are the alternatives to criminalization? Like, how do we create safety? How do we deal with violence in societies? There are no very easy answers for that. So I'm really looking forward to some also inspiration and learning from what works. And perhaps also bringing those conversations, also I guess to like both connecting those who have been working on those issues for a very long time and those of us for whom it's rather new areas of thinking and dreaming, engaging.
Thank you so much, Inna. You've got me all really, really excited. I'm especially excited. I think this was part of the power of AWID, to be able to connect activists from different parts of the world. So I was really excited when you mentioned we're going to have activists from Belarus, from Palestine, from Sudan, in conversation, looking at revolutions and how, you know, we can make revolutions feminist as well. So thank you for sharing that. And I am coming to you next, Hakima. What are the top 3 activities that you are personally most excited about?
One of them kind of builds on what the last one that Inna was talking about, around the abolition of prisons, because there's an activity called She's on Her Way, Alternative Feminisms in Another World. And if you know me, you know that in some ways, I can't believe I'm living this reality, because this is what feels like sci-fi to me, rather than the reality that we're trying to construct, the feminist reality that I think is so possible. And so even calling it alternatives, I have the hesitation that, like, that's the reality that we should be living. But the title comes from the Arundhati Roy essay, Confronting Empire, when she said, another world is not only possible, she's on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. And so I'm excited about that panel and hearing all of the different ways in which feminist activists are creating these alternatives and this other world. So that's my first one. I think the second one is somewhat related, but it was the title that caught me. It's called Witchcraft, Shamanism, and Other Insurgent Knowledge Against Patriarchy. So any insurgent knowledge gets me really hyped. I'm really excited about that.
And for people like myself who may be like, insurgent knowledge, what does that mean? Like, can you break it down? What does that mean?
Sure. For me, I mean, I hope this is what the Colectiva Feminista that's putting it together means, but to me it means the knowledge that we have that is revolutionary, that allows us to make the break and to really kind of bring the fire to fight back. And so the witchcraft and shamanism and other possibilities, those are things that I don't know very much about. So again, just that activity sounds really exciting to go to and learn and think about other ways of resisting that I myself am not really familiar with. the last one, and Nana, you said anyone who knows you can imagine what your favorite activities are. So I'm going to pigeonhole you just because we know you, Nana, as the sexualities guru, and we know that you just published your new book around African sexualities, and we're so very excited. So I'm imagining that your favorite activities are in the pleasure garden.
You are absolutely right.
Okay.
So tell people a little bit about the pleasure garden, because people will be like, "Oh, pleasure garden, what's that?"
The pleasure garden is the area where we're going to have a lot of conversations around pleasure and around what feminists can think of to reclaim pleasure and sexualities in our lives and in our work. And so the last activity that I would say that I'm excited about is called Sexting While Feminist. And it's from the Pleasure Garden area. And why am I excited? Well, just because who doesn't want to know about sexting while feminist? I mean, that seems like a skill everyone should have.
I know, right? It's an essential skill. And just to say, the Pleasure Garden is being curated by Wana Udubang, who is a Nigerian feminist, poet, writer, journalist, and she's been working in close collaboration with Hola Africa, which is based in South Africa, and the Adventures Live team. So that has been super, super exciting. The other aspects of the festival that I am personally excited about, because like we know, what's the point of a revolution if you can't dance? And Hakima, you had mentioned earlier, we're going to have some dance parties. We're going to have some Instagram live concerts, because we know, like, gosh, feminists have been going through it. It's not just about the pandemic in terms of the global health pandemic, but the various viruses we've been dealing with that you already mentioned. And people also need space to just rest, to recuperate. We're going to have some healing sessions so people come and can, try out different rituals that may help them to feel better. We're going to have a poetry workshop. We recently launched a feminist film club. So for folks who want to check that out, you can already visit our website, www.awid.org, and check out some amazing, incredible feminist films which speak to, feminist realities, examples of feminist power in action. And for the festival, we have a Latin American and Central American stream of films curated by Alejandra Lapierre. We're also going to have a virtual art exhibition curated by Rula Kuri. For people who are AWID members, or for people who are interested in becoming AWID members, remember that AWID is a global feminist membership-based organization. We're going to have special AWID member lounge sessions where you can come, get to meet and connect with other AWID members. It is just going to be like a month-long experience of fun, learning, connection, opportunities to just challenge yourselves. And you really, really need to be there. So do register if you haven't already done so. And don't just register. Don't just keep this to yourself. Tell all your friends about it. Please share across your own social media platforms so that all your feminist activist connections also get to join the festival. I'm going to come back to you, Inna and Hakima, to ask if you have any final words, anything that you want to leave people with.
Just to say welcome.
Can go first. Yeah, welcome, right?
Yeah, we're excited for the festival. We hope everyone else is too. And we're really looking forward to everyone joining and contributing.
Thank you. How about you, Inna?
And well, I'm happy to add to that, I missed my colleagues, and I'm glad, that we have been experimenting in this last year and a half also with ways of connecting, even though people are zoomed out. And for some of us, I think for almost everybody, it's been quite exhausting, that we have been experimenting with ways of, like, how can we create like a genuine conversation, even, and a meaningful connection, even in sort of this virtual format. And I'm excited that we are bringing this knowledge to this festival, and some of the experiences and learnings we had, and what works and what doesn't. And I'm really looking forward to that magic of connecting with feminists and activists and movements from different parts of the world, and being together in this.
Thank you so much, Ina. Thank you so much, Hakima, for this conversation. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. Please register to attend the festival if you haven't done so already. Tell a friend, tell several friends. You don't want to just come and have the fun on your own. Visit our website, www.awid.org. Sign up to be a member and join us to create, resist, and transform. This is a festival for you. Goodbye.